Listen, the type of day that I've been having, y'all, like, I just went live on my personal page and not my business page. And I was wondering why I was seeing some different options than what I normally see. And it was because I was live on my personal page instead of my business page. But anywho, what's up? It's your girl, Sean, the homeschool guru. And I am coming to you again for another day of free homeschool coaching, right? Like, I'm here again, another day. It'll be a total of 30 days. I'm not quite sure what day it is right now. I don't know if it's 13 or 14, but I have been live every single day except for one. And that was because my internet was out. And y'all listen, so y'all know all week I've been complaining. I'm having issues with my internet. One night I couldn't even sign on, right? And I thought maybe it was because of the influx of everybody being online, because, you know, everybody's online right now. Everybody's working from home or they're schooling from home. But I called AT&T today and got the lady on the line, and the lady was like, I'm sorry, Mrs. Taylor, there's an outage in your neighborhood, and, you know, we're not sure when the ETA is, when it'll get corrected, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, none of the neighbors have mentioned that there is a power, like there's an outage of internet at all. So I think that's strange, and it didn't sit well with me. And at the end of the call, y'all, she was like, excuse me, Mrs. Taylor, may I ask you a question? And I said, sure. And she goes, are you satisfied with your with the services that I provided? And I was like, I guess, because I was thinking in my head, like, I don't really believe her. I don't think that the services are all out in my neighborhood, but that's what she's saying. And maybe she's seeing something that I'm not seeing. I got off the phone with her or whatever and sat there and thought about it for a minute, and it just didn't sit well with my spirit. So then I called back to AT&T and spoke to somebody 45 minutes later. And the lady was like, I don't even know why she told you that there's a power outage in your neighborhood. It's just your box. There's nothing wrong with the neighborhood, the line outside. Y'all, so this lady lied to me to get me off the phone, and I wasn't even being rude or anything like that. I was like, ma'am, our internet has been acting funny. We have been offline since yesterday. We have, you know, a business that we run. We have a homeschool that we do. So we really depend on our internet, and it wouldn't be such an issue if we weren't, you know, staying at home. And we could go to another facility and use their internet, but unfortunately we can't. Like, I wasn't even being mean to her. She lied to me anyway, y'all. She told me that the internet was out in the whole neighborhood to get rid of me, child. Like, that's funny to me. It didn't even make me mad. It just made me laugh because I was like, the nerve of her. But anyway, so I'm with you today for another free day of homeschool coaching. If you're coming in, say, hey, what's up, and let me know that you're here. If you're new, throw me some hearts. If you're old, throw me some hearts. Also, to the Guru Click members, go ahead and hashtag Guru Click. Hey, Tiana, how you doing? So one of the things we want to talk about more than anything is I was conversing with somebody today, and she is working from home, right? With all of the stuff that's going on. Never made a choice to homeschool. That was not her option. That's not something that she wanted to do. But with the pandemic going on and most of the school districts closing at least until mid-April, she has been forced into this role of educating her child at home. And she's just this has just really started for her this week. But she is already at her wit's limit. Like, she's already up to here. She's already up to here with her, with the way things are going. She's already had enough. She's stressed. She's trying to fulfill her obligations as far as her employer is concerned. And then she's also trying to fulfill her obligations as a mommy and now as a home educator. And so she's stuck. She's extremely stuck. And so what I want to tell you more than anything else, and this is for anybody, right? I know that a lot of you were thrown into this position, right? I know that this is something that you did not plan. Hey Lisa, how you doing? Hey Theron. Oh, thanks for joining me. How you doing? I know this is something that you weren't planning on doing. Like, for me, it was more so of, you know what, we're going to do this. I'm going to research. We got this. But for a lot of parents right now, it's like, holy crap, we have been pushed into this and I'm not sure how I'm going to get it all done. Let me tell you something. More than anything else, your mental health and your child's mental health is more important than anything else. I know that that may seem weird. I know that that may seem odd, but your mental stability, you being able to mentally be okay during the situation is the most important thing. And so let me be very honest with you. If it means while you're doing this, so while you're working from home and you have to home educate your child, if it means that you don't necessarily get to do all the meetups, Google Classrooms, the Zoom meetings, or whatever the case may be for your child's so-called education, if you don't get to do that versus anything else, I would just say don't worry about it. Like, it's not... Because the fact of the matter is they're not going to hold you back. They're not going to hold the babies back. That's the truth. They're not. Okay, unless your child was already failing, your child was already doing, terrible in classwork or whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to hold the child back. So that's the first thing. Rhythm, right? Find the things that work for you. I suggest more than anything else, block scheduling. That is very important. If you are working from home, as you guys know, I have 3 businesses. So we have a catering business, a logistics business, and then I do homeschool coaching. And the only way that I'm able to keep my sanity in any time whatsoever is by setting up blocks. And so basically what that means is I set up 2 to 3 hour blocks, sometimes 4 hour blocks to do whatever it is I'm going to do. I wake up early in the morning and do about 3 hours a block on our logistics business, right? And then the kids get up and I work about 2 hours with them straight on homeschooling and maybe a little bit of the logistics. Once that's done, then I focus fully on homeschooling and then maybe add a little bit of the coaching business into the end of that. And the catering business is different because it's kind of really seasonal for us. So that's not an everyday thing for us. But the other 2 businesses are an everyday thing for us. What I would say is set up your blocks, right? And set up a schedule, but also hold yourself to that schedule. Also hold people accountable for respecting your schedule. So that means that for me, when it's time for me to sit and work at my desk, my kids are not allowed to interrupt me unless they're dying, bleeding, all that good stuff. They know my kids are older, so they're not younger. My kids are 16, 13, and 10, so they're able to take care of themselves, and the older 2 are able to take care of the younger one. But there is a amount of respect that I'm working with them on. When mom is here in the office working, I need you to respect that. Don't come knocking on the door asking me, can you have chips? Don't walk past your dad and come in here and ask me anything. He is capable. And this is the conversation my children and I have all the time. Your dad is able and he is willing to answer any question that I can answer. As a matter of fact, he may answer it better than me. Ask your dad. They will walk past him, guys. The way our house is made, in order to get from the bedroom area or to get from the playroom area to the office, you have to go through the living room. Or you have to pass by our bedroom, like either or. And my husband is usually in the living room or he's in the bedroom. So in order for you to come to me, you have to pass my husband. You have to pass dad. And so the conversation becomes, and it's constant, guys, like we always have this conversation. Listen, I need you to do me a favor. Dad is able and he is willing to answer any question that I can answer. Please go ask your dad. And then when they come knock on my door, sweetheart, I understand. I get it. But remember what I said. This is mom's work time. I've got to get this done. I will, be with you later. I will schedule some time with you later. I will take you bike riding. I'll do whatever it may be, right? That's how I play it. So let me look. Hey, Denny, lesson track is a great way to keep track of your schedule. It is. Lesson track is good as well. So what lesson track is, what Denny is talking about is, it's basically a online planner and you can print off the lessons if you want to. But that's what we use around our house. I'm scheduling their lessons. They know every day. There's a notebook. Speaking of, where's my notebook? Child, they done did something with it. But there's a notebook and every day I sit it on the table. It's got their lessons printed for the week. So they're not asking me every single day, Mom, what are we doing today? It has field trip scheduled on there. It has basketball practice, soccer games, basketball games. It has all their lessons on it. It has trips to the library. It has band. It has everything on there. All they have to do is open up that notebook and it'll tell them what they're doing for the day. So that prevents that question. So Lesson Track is absolutely wonderful. And not only that, I like it because I can print it for them, but I can also look at it on my phone. They do not have an app, so I go online and look at it online on my phone. But if for any reason I am behind or maybe I didn't grab the lesson plan, I can always look there. So Lesson Track is a very good resource. Tiana says, same. Lord, my husband will be sitting right there and they'll walk past him and come right to me. They all do it, Tiana, and I have absolutely no idea why they do that. Actually, let me stop lying. I asked my kids why, and they said because the probability of me saying yes is a lot higher than dad saying yes. So dad will probably say no more than I will say yes. That's why they do it. So we basically, it's a work in progress. Are there some days when they interrupt me? Absolutely. I think, was it yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. So it was Tuesday. Tuesday, y'all, I was doing a live. Like I had a meeting. I was talking to a group of people about it, and my kids were sitting in the background. There's their schoolwork area here, and there's an area right here. And my littlest one was crawling behind the thing while I was talking live, trying to give a presentation to a group of people. And so we had to have a conversation about that. Listen, you're old enough to understand what is acceptable behavior and what's not acceptable behavior. At this time, this was not acceptable behavior, and this is why. Because people are wanting my time. People are paying for me to pay attention to them and dedicate my time to you, and I want them to be respectful. I want you to be respectful of that. So that's something to think about. Yes, I know that it's difficult, y'all. I know. I promise you. This is what I do all day. I understand that it is difficult, but you're going to have to make your children understand that there are boundaries and they have to respect them. And even for the little ones, start small. Of course, I can have my 10-year-old sit for 30 minutes and not cause a ruckus and tear up stuff, right? I can do that. But if he was 5 or 6, that would be a lot to ask. But you know what I would do? I would use the other siblings to help. That's another tip. So in that instance, when you're trying to work and little Bobby is acting a fool, child, Bobby is tearing up paper, throwing stuff around, jumping off the couch, flipping, calling your name, mama, 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 and you have older siblings, you take that opportunity to get those older siblings to take care of little Bobby while you're trying to do whatever it is that you need to do for work. Another thing that I use, I tell you guys all the time, I wake up about 3 hours before my children. So I wake up earlier so that I can get more work done. And I stay up later so I can get more work done. So if this is you have a regular 9 to 5, so your hours are set. If it's possible without disturbing your sleep schedule too much or their sleep schedule too much, maybe put them to bed a little bit later so that they wake up a little bit later and you're able to get more work done during those hours. Y'all let me know if this is helping y'all out. Y'all let me know if you have any questions about this, but this is probably the biggest concern is how do I handle it all? How do I do everything? How is it possible? And that is what I do. Block scheduling is the biggest things. If you have littles and you don't have like an older sibling to keep them busy, you don't have a husband or anything like that or anyone like that to assist with that, try busy boxes, which is something really big in the homeschool community that a lot of people use. And basically it's manipulatives, but it's fun, and they basically it distracts them, to be honest with you. Yes, they can learn, yes, they can do different things, but there's all different types of activities that they can do that will help them while they are sitting there and you're trying to work. So y'all let me know if this is making sense. Throw me some hearts or some likes if this is making some sense. If it's not making sense, tell me it's not making sense, Sean. I need more information and I'll go deeper into it. Like this is the time to talk. Let's see. They are integrating with Google Calendar, I believe. Oh, Lesson Trek is? I'm not too excited about that. But I don't really use Google like that. Right? Mine says, hell, he'll say no. Exactly. My kids know that dad will just say no, especially if dad is not aware of how I feel about it or if something else is in place. He'll just flat out say no just to protect himself from hearing me say, well, why'd you let them have that? They know better. You know that this is what they're supposed to be doing. Dad'll say no because I don't want mom to say this, or what would mom say? So since I don't know what mom is going to say, I'm just not going to do it. So again, y'all let me know if this is making sense. I'm giving you tools and options to help you while you are working from home during this pandemic, and you are also educating your children at home. So y'all let me know if you have any questions or if this is making sense. Just shoot me some hearts, some likes if it's making sense. If it's not making sense, just put it in the comments. I don't get it. Or I tell you what, you may not want me to see your name, right? You may not want me to see you. So if it's not making sense, do an angry face. Hey, Charity. So if it's making sense, do a thumbs up and hearts, right? If it is not making sense, do a thumbs down or angry face. And if it's angry face, that means you don't get it at all. Like I'm way off target for you. So let me know, okay? Yes, it allows you to add your lesson track schedule with your phone calendar. Well, see, I don't have Google, so I got an iPhone, so that doesn't do anything for me. I don't like that at all. But yeah, so let me know. It's awesome for me because I quickly forget unless it's on the calendar on my phone. Oh, okay. That doesn't work for me, but maybe, we're talking about lesson track. So that was one of the ways that you can keep up with the school assignments. And then another thing too is, y'all, I don't want you to, I'm trying to find a nice way to say this. I don't want you to be scared of taking control or taking advantage of the freedom that you have to educate your children while this pandemic is going on. You have to advocate for your child, okay? Let me explain something. Here's an issue for us as far as homeschoolers, right? We homeschool all day long, right? We sit there 4 hours, 4 to 5, 6 hours, homeschooling our children. Once they're done with their lessons, they are done for the day, okay? We don't homeschool our children for 4 to 6 hours, and then our child comes home and does 2 to 3 hours of homework. That's not how homeschooling works. It is unrealistic for you to have to work a full-time job and home educate your children for 4 to 6 hours, and then come back, right, and do homework for 2 to 3 hours. That is unrealistic. You have to, as the parent, advocate for your child, okay? You have to say to them, listen, I will have my child do the schoolwork. I will have my child be in the Google Classroom. I will have my child in the Zoom meetings. However, we are not going to sit at home for 2 to 3 hours and do homework. That is not what we're going to do. You have to be willing to stand up for your child. Now, what this means, though, is that in the long run, they may say to you, well, Mrs. Taylor, you refuse to do the homework or you refuse to do this, so we're not quite sure what level your child is on. Here's the thing. If you refuse to do those things, you still have to educate your children, but you educate them in a different way. So you just have to prove to them that your child is still learning, right? Not that they're just sitting on their behinds all day long, which you can do, okay? It is unfair. Guys, this whole situation is unfair. And to be honest with you, this situation, more than anything, shows the flaws of the public school system than it did before. And again, I am not the homeschool coach that has a fit and talks about, oh, public school system sucks. Don't put your child in there. That's not my regime. Like, that's not how I feel. But I am the type of person to be real with you and tell you honestly that the best thing you can do is advocate for your child. And if you are sitting there overwhelmed and stressed out, your child is feeling the same thing. I promise you. If you're sitting there trying to get your work done, trying to make sure they're signed on, trying to make sure they're good to go, you and your child are feeling the same thing. Advocate for your children. Yes, do the schoolwork if you need to. Okay, do the packets, do the Zoom room, do the classroom, do all that stuff. But all that extra stuff, y'all, if it's too much, then it's just too much. It is your decision. These kids can't advocate for themselves. They can't say to the teacher, Mrs. Taylor, this is too much work. And once we're done with class, I'm spending 2 and 3 hours on homework. They can't do that. But you can, mama. You can, daddy. Stand up. Stand up. Respectfully. Mrs. Taylor, I appreciate all you're doing. And I know that you're under some strenuous requirements. And I know that this is what you have to do because this is what your district is requiring you to do. However, my husband and I have decided that this is not going to work for our children. So we will be at the classroom. We will participate in the assignments. My child will have all those turned in. But as far as doing the extra, we won't be doing that. Be clear. Be crystal clear about what it is that you're going to do and what you're not going to do. It is unfair. I can't say it again. It is unfair for you guys to go home and work a 9 to 5 and then have to home educate your child. It's unfair. Y'all didn't sign up for it. And you have to consider that. Another option, again, I will talk about it. So say none of that's an option for you, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to buck the system. You don't want to stand up. You don't want to advocate. You just want to get it done, right? So another thing is I have clients who work full-time jobs. I've talked about this before. I have a client who is a nurse. Well, her situation is a little different now because, you know, nurses are all working like crazy. But her typical schedule is Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. She only works Wednesdays from, like, I think it's 7 to 7 or something like that. I think that's right. 7 to 7, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is her schedule. The way that she does it is, okay, she does Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. She works all day, okay? Monday, she comes home and she rests. She gets rest. She doesn't do anything else. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when she homeschools her children, okay? So that's when she does the actual education side. And then she starts back over on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Some of those days may carry over. She requires that her family assist in some of the household duties. And that's another thing too as well. When you get older kids who are able to assist and help, make sure that they are contributing to the family. The way that our family is built, everybody is responsible for a piece of making the family work, right? Everybody contributes to the well-being of the family. Like, that's my motto. Everybody contributes to the well-being of the family. So that means cooking, that means cleaning, that means laundry, that means running errands if you can. That means sharing some of the educational duties. Everybody contributes to the well-being of the family. It should not be your responsibility as the wife and the mother to cook, to clean, to work your normal 9 to 5, and to make sure the kids have all the schoolwork done. That's not your responsibility alone, okay? The kids need to take some responsibility for some of that cooking and that cleaning. The kids need to take some of the responsibility for their own work, especially as they get older. I shouldn't have to tell you, Sweet Pea, go log on. You have class at 10 o'clock. If you're a teenager or if you're in middle school, you should be able to set an alarm. Most teenagers have some type of alarm, whether it's a phone or something to that effect. But they should be able to say, let me set an alarm for this course so that I can be in class on time enough. Don't take on that responsibility. So that's a side note. So we're talking about different shifts. So the nurse is working from 7 to 7, right? So her schedule is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She works all day. Excuse me. Monday, sleep day, right? It's sleepy time. It's time to knock it out, get some good rest. Okay, get caught up, refreshed, try to get as renewed as possible. Okay, then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, she works. Okay, so she does homeschool.